All right, so now we have Macklemore or Macklemore, depending on how you want to pronounce it. Macklemore or Macklemore or Macklemore was at something, some sort of concert, and this was trending this morning, him sharing his thoughts on America. Here we go.
Straight up, say it. I'm not gonna stop you. I'm not gonna stop you. Yeah, America.
The interesting part there, the interesting and disturbing part there is not Macklemore saying F America. It's the crowd's reaction that they all just cheer for it. Let's get that, and then there's another clip of like afterwards when he keeps talking. 1 second.
Stop you.
Here we go.
Yeah, America.
The people cheering for F America right there, and I believe that was in Seattle. And let's go ahead and get there's no real I mean, it is video, but someone's basically recording in the dark, but they have clear audio of what he's saying afterwards as he explains himself. So here we go. Here's Macklemore's comments.
Macklemore.
Yeah, America.
Get out then.
Look, I just want to say one thing real quick. Someone asked me, a couple hours ago back here, like, how did you get involved in the movement?
AP's answer is he's striving for relevance. He's trying to regain relevance. But I don't know. Macklemore may have been making a difference for a long time, AP. You don't know. Anyway.
And I didn't know before. I didn't know.
Someone just asked me a couple hours ago, how'd you get involved? And I didn't know. But now I know.
I didn't know. And we were on tour. October 7th happens, and I start paying attention, and I start learning. I start listening. I start going back.
So October 7th happened. Then you started learning, started investigating, started listening, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go.
And learning the history.
This
issue that was deemed so complicated. Oh, that's complicated. You don't want to go there. No, it's actually not that complicated.
It's not complicated. This whole, peace in the Middle East, battle between Islam and the Jews and so on. It's not complicated. Very easy. Very easy.
You know what it sounds like to me? It sounds like to me like somebody in the 1940s says, "I wasn't aware, and how I started. Kristallnacht happened in Germany, and that's when I started researching, and it all seemed complicated before, but it wasn't that complicated. And now I'm all for the Nazis because I think they deserve it."
Listen to what he says. One, you got the crowd cheering.
It's actually not.
It's not complicated.
It's a genocide. Absolutely. And it has been since 1948. Don't get it twisted.
You heard it there, folks. Macklemore says there's been an ongoing genocide since 1948. What's happened?
The only genocide in human history where the victims of a genocide are suffering from exponential growth, from population boom.
Yeah, you look at the population growth, it goes like this, ladies and gentlemen, which, as AP pointed out, is very weird because historically, when you have actual genocides, if you look at the Jewish population of Europe during World War II, you see it plummet. Have they even have they even recovered their numbers yet after that? I think it's did they recently pass? Because
Barely.
yeah,
It's still, the effects have lasted until today for so long.
yeah. In other words,
For eight.
the global Jewish population dropped so significantly during an actual genocide that it either hasn't fully recovered yet or it recovered pretty recently. I'm talking like the pre World War II numbers of Jews on the planet. So that's what an actual if you look at the Armenian population during the Armenian genocide, you see the population plummet. So this is the only genocide in history that I'm aware of where the result of an endless genocide for many decades now, has been exponential rapid growth. It's just a weird situation, man.
It hasn't recovered, by the way.
Hasn't.
Prior to the Holocaust, before World War II, the global Jewish population was around 16.6 million. In the aftermath, 6 million Jews were killed. Today, the global Jewish population is estimated around 15.3 million.
So they have never recovered. The genocide that went on, World War II, was so successful at killing so many Jews that the global population still hasn't recovered. That's what an actual genocide looks like.
80 freaking years, and the population growth has still not recovered since the Holocaust. That's how bad a genocide actually is. This is why it is called a Holocaust. This is why it is called a great catastrophe, the worst thing to think of for a population. It was meant to destroy the entirety of the population. The Germans made it very clear that their aim was to eradicate, to wipe out the entire Jewish population in Europe, and if they succeed after the war, to expand, also go into the Arab world and everything that is under the British dominance, and wipe out all Jews in those regions as well. They were already making plans with the Grand Mufti of Jerusalem, who was also the leader of the Palestinian Arabs at the time. So those very people who were supposedly being invaded and replaced and whatever were all out working with Hitler to wipe out the Jews. I'm sorry, there's just, if you are today a free Palestine activist and you go around accusing Israel of genocide, and especially if you say something as absurd and messed up like this, thinking you are actually doing a good thing, genocide since 1948, you are a Nazi, okay? You are a Nazi. You are similar to the Nazis, very much. You are similar to the Nazis. You are a useful idiot to Nazi ideas, to the Nazi ideology. You are on the side of people who actually openly and willingly want to genocide the Jews, who hope for another Holocaust, such as Hamas, Hezbollah, and so on. They openly believe in eradicating the Jews and that this is the eventual final solution, and so on. This is basically where you are. These people are evil. And honestly, as a non-Jew, I will gladly say it, the world would be a better place without all of those people.
Gosh. Now you're starting to sound like you're calling for genocide. What the heck is wrong with you? Yeah. So guys, here's what's crazy, guys. Macklemore could have offered some sort of legitimate criticism and said, hey, I think Israel should be more careful as they're going after Hamas jihadis or something like that. Instead, it's been a genocide since 1948. Okay, now you sound like an idiot who doesn't know the meaning of genocide. Genocide, you're trying to wipe out a population or a significant part of a population to get rid of that ethnic group. Going after terrorists is not genocide. Collateral civilian casualties is not genocide. Genocide is trying to wipe out the group just because that's group. It doesn't mean going after terrorists and so on. And When you're a rapper and you say, but this is a genocide, you sound like a freaking idiot. And the fact that people cheer when you say it tells us a lot about how screwed up things are right now.
I tell you, people like this guy who simply jump on the current trend to whatever, get recognition again, or whatever their motive is, they would never ever even dare have a proper conversation or discussion or debate about this topic of whether Israel has been committing a genocide since 1948 with any knowledgeable person. In fact, not just this guy, not just others. I haven't seen a single person, not a single person, who goes around right now saying this is genocide. Israel is committing genocide. Israel has been committing genocide. Israel has no right to exist. They don't want Palestinians to exist. I have seen zero people, exactly zero people of this sort, go around and actually have discussions and debates with those who say the opposite. Not a single person. Point me at one. Point me at something.
Are you saying
I challenge all
Are you ready to debate Macklemore?
Well, they'll be like debating, I don't know, my kefir on the ground here.
What if the debate has to be in rap format?
I would do it. I would challenge any of these inbred people, Cenk Uygur, Candace Owens, that Smith guy, the neo-Nazis, the Islamists. None of these people can actually sit down together in a debate and explain to you how exactly in the world, without being challenged, how exactly in the world Israel has been committing a genocide since 1948. I'll tell you one thing. Had the Arab side not fought, had the Arab side not attacked repeatedly, there would be no conflict right now. Israel wouldn't be fighting anybody. They're talking about, oh, you can't trust Israel. They're just acting like this and this. They actually want to wipe out the Palestinian population. Okay, cool. If that's your theory, great, fantastic. However, Israel would have never had the chance to do any of these things had your side not began the aggressions every single freaking time. Every single time.
You are sounding like a German right now.